Eiyuden Chronicles promises 100 heroes, but there are actually 120 characters to recruit.
Yikes. That's quite a generous bonus for a game that already feels incredibly dense with content.
It seems the developers were a bit bad at math, but the players are not complaining.
Ah, those developers. They definitely gave 120% effort.
Watching the headquarters grow from a drafty ruin into a bustling fortress is the most satisfying part of the gameplay loop.
Yes! Every new recruit adds a shop, a mini-game, or a new wing to the castle.
It's a very fortunate development to the rebellion.
The architecture is really wall-to-wall excellence.
Racing giant bipedal birds is apparently a major pastime in the world of Eiyuden.
Betting on the right egg foot and training them for speed takes up a lot of spare change.
The competition is truly exciting to watch.
It's a real scramble to the finish line.
Hey, Tam, did you know that one of the recruitable heroes is quite literally a sentient tree that joins the army to protect the forest?
It is one of the more unusual additions to a roster already filled with humans, sharks, and magical girls.
You know, he's definitely a member of the team that keeps everything quite rooted.
He really helps the army branch out.
They're silly and they're goofy, mysterious and spoofy. Camco makes them loopy, the Backtrack family. Their podcast is a blast, talking games from the past. They break down every class, the Backtrack family.
Beat. Defeat. Complete.
They trash things they abhor, and praise things they adore. They never are a bore, the Backtrack family.
Snake! Snake!
Hello and welcome to RPG Backtrack, your regular deep dive into your favorite RPGs. We are a production of RPGamer.com, bringing you such fine podcasts like RPG Cast, your weekly RPG news show, Q&A Quest, your weekly RPG feedback show, and us, your bi-weekly RPG nostalgia show. I am your host, Kelly Ryan, and with me, as always, my podcast partner in crime, the Noah to my Marissa, Mr. Matt Mason.
Hey, that's who I am. I'm a meddler. Always will be. Just ask Lean. So don't tell me to do nothing. I may not be able to help them, but I have to at least try.
I had to look up a pair from this couple from this game because I had not played it yet. And I looked at that line and was like, okay, Lean must be the person. And then it's like, well, no, that's the sister, I guess. So I had to dig deeper. It's like, okay, who's the actual main female character? Okay, Marissa. Joining us for this week's show, we've got Ryan Radcliffe.
Hello.
And Robert Albright.
Somehow managed to make it.
And
we woke you up in time.
And we are talking about the spiritual successors to the Suikoden series. Try saying that 5 times fast. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Not Rising. Want to make that clear. We'll probably touch a little bit on Rising because Ryan, you play it, didn't you?
Played it and forgot most of it. Yes.
Okay. That's sort of what I've heard.
Par for the course here
about that game. Last magnum opus of the original Suikoden developer, Yoshitaka Murayama.
Yeah, he didn't even get to see this game release. He passed away before it came out.
Mm-hmm.
It's always tragic. Gotta make it kind of made me sad reading about that.
Yeah, and then I mean, not to get on the gloom bus, but it was like a bad string because it was Kentaro Miura, the creator of Berserk, then Yoshitaka Murayama, Suikoden, and then Akira Toriyama, Dragon Ball. They all passed away like within like a year of one another. Unfortunate. Anyways, about Eiyuden.
Uh, Sorry, I was gonna make a comment about hey, take breaks. Don't work yourself to death. At least I thought that's what happened to the Berserk guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what happened with all of their passings, but you could tell with Murayama, he had worked on the Suikoden series since its inception. He worked on 1, 2, 3, the Suiko Gaidens, the Suikoden card games, and it was a really bustling RPG series with tremendous world building. And during the creation of Suikoden 3, there was a falling out with him and Konami, and they parted ways. And he started doing other work, outside of Konami. What was it The Alliance Alive? He had, I think, wrote the script for that. That was one of the more notable games. And then this game, Eiyuden Chronicles, was like his true passion project, a return to form. It's Suikoden and everything but name, basically.
Yep.
From what I played of Suikoden, yes, it is.
Yeah, I definitely got that feeling from what little I played of this. I played. I think the only Suikoden game I hadn't finished was 5.
Five's one of the best too.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 was Konami realizing we shouldn't change what made Suikoden good, and let's just go back to the roots. And they did, and it was a little too late, and the series kind of died after that game because the sales were bad, because Suikoden 4 was drastically different than the other games, and I think the damage had been done with the franchise name.
Also,
but yeah, 5 was fun.
Konami alienating their developers and having falling outs.
Name a more iconic duo.
Yeah, yeah. But we'll dive in after a quick musical interlude. So we'll be right back. And welcome back to RPG Backtrack, where we're talking about Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, released worldwide on April 23rd, 2024 for Switch, PS4, PS5, PC, and the 2 Xboxes. Famously funded by Kickstarter, and the third most, or the third quickest, or what did it say? The third highest funded video game in Kickstarter history, behind Shenmue 3 and Bloodstained.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, we had that article right when the Kickstarter started, and then the next day it had already been funded. It reached its goal. The Suikoden fans had definitely
made their voice heard.
Yeah, they came running back when they saw that Murayama was involved.
The goal was 500 grand. They made 4,500,000 and some change. So yeah, and then the game got delayed 2 times, once in 2022 because of COVID, and then once in 2023 for the Wikipedia article didn't say.
Probably because of all this like stuff they had to add on for the backers.
Yeah. I do believe that's also why they had put out the spin-off game Rising, just to give people something to kind of look forward to.
Yeah, wasn't that one of the backer rewards, was them creating that game if they reached a certain threshold? I can't remember.
I honestly don't see in the Wikipedia article, but it wouldn't surprise me.
It's been a while since since I looked at that. But there was quite a lot of things that they were scheduling if they had met their certain totals, which they did.
Oh, well, Wikipedia says it was proposed as a stretch goal. That the way that's worded is not very. As a companion title,
I've got it pulled up.
Hmm.
I just have to read because they have a lot of stretch goals.
The way it's worded there, it was proposed as a stretch goal, not like offered as a stretch goal. Like that's an interesting way to read that. I don't know. So it might or might not have been linked to that somehow.
Yeah, it was. They had created that game. It wasn't the same dev company, Rabbit and Bear. It was another studio that created Rising, and it
505 Games, if I remember right.
I think, yeah. That sounds right. And it was a side-scrolling game with some characters from the Eiyuden franchise, so you could get more familiarized with some of the characters and some of the world before the actual game came out. It was inoffensive, but yeah, that Rising game had a lot of back and forth, and the story wasn't anything special.
Yeah, I know Josh tried to play it and was not a fan. I tried to play it and just couldn't get into it. And like you said, Ryan, it sounds like the game isn't offensive, but isn't anything spectacular either. And isn't it really short?
It's not a long game, no.
Yeah.
And what I thought was funny is the main character of that game, CJ, it doesn't show up in the Eiyuden game until much later in the game. So like you and she's got like a different outfit. She's still got her little classic hook weapons, and she utilizes those in fights. The main three characters of Rising, they're all pretty useful in fights in Eiyuden. But they changed the voice actor. What's her name? Is it Issa?
Yeah.
For the worse, I might add.
Well, she also, I mean, it was a number of years later.
Isha. Yeah, Isha.
Isha. And, it's many years later. I could justify it because it was, a much different time, several years later. She had grown up a little bit, and it seemed like they changed her entire personality. She
definitely felt more flat. Like she didn't have a lot of energy in her lines. The voice actor, she wasn't feeling the character, I guess. I don't know. Or that maybe that's how they wanted her to sound. Who knows?
Either way, that's some bad direction. Like you should be able to hear that and give her some better direction, or just hear it and be like, well, this doesn't sound great. Unless you're right. Unless that's what they were like, no, do it this way.
I want you to be as drab as possible. Got it.
Make this character bleh.
Nailed it.
We got 119 others. It's fine.
Not counting the NPCs that are voiced.
Yep.
But in Eiyuden, so you start that game and you're introduced to the main character who looks like an amalgamation of all the Suikoden characters mashed up into one. He's like a little bit of Tur, he's a little bit of Ryu. He's got the hook weapons. Noah. He doesn't look bad. He's and he's a really strong character. So you're forced to use him, but thankfully he's not useless in battle.
Yeah, usually
he looks like he'd be a main character of a JRPG.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be kind of a bad thing to make the character that you're forced to use suck.
Fire Emblem is famous for doing that. At least for like half the game. They're like, well, just sit on him until he promotes for the last battle.
Oh.
Because when there's games that have permanent upgrades, like seeds or something that give permanent stat upgrades, and people are like, I don't know what to use them on. I always say to use them on the main character.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Because you're stuck. If you're stuck with that main character, just pump those stat boosting items on that main character. Because make them like a god amongst men.
Because there are very, very few games that change the main character, and even if they do, they usually like cross that stuff over.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that he's a good main character.
But yeah, as this game was getting introduced and like more articles were coming out, Noah wasn't the only character they were highlighting. Are two other main characters that show up in the game, and they kind of act as like a triad of protagonists. You have the army general Sane, who acts like a rival of sorts to Noah at the beginning of the game, and then you have Marissa, who is like she's like a shaman or a mage from a group of people that live in the forest, and I really liked her design. I actually bought a pin that they were offering, I think through 505 Games or something, of Marissa, and she's hanging out in my corkboard with the other Suikoden character pins that I have.
Oh, cool.
But the one thing I really liked about this game is there's so many unique sprites. Like you said, like any Suikoden is. I'm gonna act like this is a Suikoden game because it basically is. But like that series, you've got 100+ characters to recruit, and in this game, they don't really recycle the character sprites, if ever. Like some characters have the same uniform, but they'll have like different faces and whatnot. I think the only characters that kind of use the same sprites are the sharks, kind of, but then they have different outfits. So,
oh no, they're all very distinctive.
Yeah, and that's another thing. The Suikoden series always has like an animal companion, like group of humanoid characters, and in this game we had shark people, or the Shiarks.
The shark, yeah,
who are scared of water.
Yeah. They live in the desert.
I'll be honest. I actually bounced on a while the name Shark until I was like, "Oh, that's just shark." Like what? I'm like, I'm not reading it out loud. I'm just going through and everything, and it probably was a few hours into doing their quest and everything. I'm like, "Oh, that's just freaking stylized shark." It hit me over the head and still didn't get through at the time. But yeah, they're fun for that. The being afraid of water and oh god.
Oh yeah, Noah. He joins like the local army, whatever it's called, militia. And then they're teamed up with Sane and the other army, and they do their first mission where they're looking at rune lenses, which is this game's version of like magical devices that people can imbue themselves with to give them extra ordinary abilities.
They're just runes.
Yeah, they're just runes. Yeah, they just had to call them something different. You had to change. They couldn't call them runes because that was already taken. It couldn't be too similar. Then Noah and Sane get stranded, and they have to they start forming a bond. Talking about family and that they're going to do certain things, but once they get out of their little predicament, I think you get introduced to like little like snippets of the gameplay. Like they teach you how to do combo attacks. So Noah and Sane have one, which I think is pretty powerful for most of the game. It's the buddy attack where the two protagonists like hit a group of enemies for a certain amount of damage. All the combos, all the combo attacks were real fun
and very flashy.
Yes, yeah. A lot of them were unique. There was one, I think he is like a dancer. He's got like a flower, and he does like a little dance that either like helps the party or paralyzes the enemies. I can't remember. But as with any game, once all the niceties are gone, you're introduced to like the big bad empire. They have they tell you that everything's gonna be okay. They're not gonna do anything nefarious, but lo and behold, they start invading other territories, and they break the peace treaty, and Noah and his group has to escape with their lives. You're also introduced to Periel, who is the acting mayor of one of the provinces, and she's one of the major characters of the game too. Although she gets, she sacrifices herself and lets everyone else, escape while she surrenders to the enemy. So you actually get her for a majority of the game because she's a hostage. But she's got a fun little arc on her own.
I really liked her. I really liked Periel.
Yeah, no, I thought her character was good. I wish she was a little better in battles. But I thought at least her character was fun.
Yeah, she's one of those weird where she's like supposed to be a caster, but then she has a melee weapon.
Right. Yeah. She's and this is another thing. You have frontline fighters, and then you have a back row where you usually have your archers and your mages. But she's got magic stats, but she's got a short range weapon, so you got to put her in the front, or you can put her in the back, but then all she can do is use magic,
which is not something new for this dev group. I mean, right. Suikoden does have cases where you have mages with melee weapons.
Yeah, and they're like, well, figure it out. Don't put them in the front row. They're gonna get one shot.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, you find this abandoned castle that you turn into your headquarters, and that's another staple of the Suikoden series. You get your home base, and as you recruit characters, your fort or castle or whatever you want to call it, it starts to get upgraded, and it adds new floors and new buildings and new features and side quests and mini games, and there's all sorts of things. And I mean, it's your home base, so you're going to be returning there quite often in the game. One thing that I really liked that was a nod to the Suikoden series was in the Suikoden games, one of the options that the characters would present to you to name your castle was Orange Castle, and I think it's a reoccurring thing in the Suikoden series. They're like, oh, why don't we call it Orange Castle? And in Eiyuden, that's one of the options to name your castle, and I thought that was nice.
It is kind of cute.
Don't they also have the nod for the fake name too at one point?
It's a different name than what is it, Skoloheim Rheinbach III or whatever it's called. But yeah, they do Noah changes his name to something. It's the name he gives someone is eluding me at the moment. But yeah, that's something as well. I mean, all the similarities are there. Once you get your castle, and they're like, well, start recruiting, and the game gives you hints, and you have a lot of freedom to go around the world and start recruiting characters. Some characters are pretty easy. They'll just join you without any requests. Others have missions or items that they want, or they're hidden behind certain story events. I think the one that was the most annoying for me to recruit was the fisherman guy. He wanted you to get like a special fish, and I thought all the fishing spots in the game were already like charted on the map, so you would see the icon. So I went through every spot that had a fishing icon, and I went to go fish there, and I didn't find the fish that he wanted. Turns out that there's hidden fishing spots that aren't marked on the map, and I had no idea. So I actually recruited him much later than I probably could have, because I like stumbled across a random fishing spot, and I was like, oh. So after I found that, I just started like walking around everywhere that had water, see if the little icon would pop up to start fishing.
For me, at least one, because I played this both on the Switch and the PC version. The hardest one I had tried to recruit when I played it on the Switch was the Griffin or Hippogriff. I forget which. I think it was a Griffin, and that's because you're supposed to go to one of the early towns and like talk to some random NPC to get information.
Yeah.
And the game does not allude to that.
Yeah, it's like one of those, you have to talk to this person, and they allude to the fact that there's like a griffin in the forest or whatever area that they're in. And then only after you talk to them can you then recruit them. And Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought it was I actually thought it was a completely missable recruit because
Yeah,
of it.
the griffin and there's also a dragon are two recruits that Noah can actually ride and use in battle, which I thought was cool. I think there's only those two, right?
I didn't really mess around with that because they take up they take up extra slots.
They do. And yeah, and if you put Noah on top of them, then you can only have three other people, which limits it. But if you I mean, I just like to mix and match and see what was useful. I mean, it's Noah's damage on top of a dragon that is already strong because it takes up two spots. Much more useful than the little girl that rides the monster. I wanted to say, I was hoping eventually she would get a little stronger in the game. But I leveled her up, and yeah, she was kind of like a waste of a character in battle.
But she's cute.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. When you have that many characters, not all of them are going to be, good.
Yeah. But yeah, so going back to that, the thing that really stood out to me was how dynamic the battles looked. Because in the normal Suikoden games, it was a fixed camera. So the sprites, they basically just kind of looked a certain way, and that's how they looked. They would attack, and then, they would have those kind of animations. But in Eiyuden, the camera's dynamic, and it's moving all around the map as you're battling. So like these sprites are so detailed because not only do they have to be created just to see them in a normal fighting pose, but they've got to be like kind of like a 3D rendering of these characters, because the map's moving up and left and right, and I was just kind of blown away by that aspect. I was like, wow, they really went all out with this.
They loaded up that mode 7, didn't they?
Yeah. And we got a traditional world map, which seems like people are going away from. I guess, now that we've got Expedition 33, that maybe world maps will become all the rage again.
Maybe. Then you need the meme. They were never really gone.
I don't understand why they went away.
I don't know.
Probably
clicks.
Probably combination of like loading screens and
they don't. You know what? I love overworlds, so I'll put that right there. I do love overworlds. I wish my games have them, but they're not that's not where they spend the most money. They're spending their money on the dungeons and all the backgrounds and everything.
Yeah.
For that. So I mean, I don't. I feel like the overworld could be cheaply done, but maybe it's just something they don't bother with because they're like, man, we're putting all our time and effort to making this dungeon look so awesome and this area look so awesome. Like, man, who cares about the overworld?
Yeah.
That's not my opinion, but that could be the devs thing. Like, that's not high on the list of what do we need to spend a lot of time making sure we do.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one thing I appreciated. It's a game created in the 2000s that harped on, or the 2020s, and it's got that old school style, but it's got the quality of life improvements that we can appreciate nowadays. So I enjoyed my time with it. The one thing I'm interested in is, with Suikoden, if you just have the first game and you don't have anything beyond the world building that we know now, we wouldn't really have the same appreciation for the series. And right now, that's all we've got with Eiyuden. We've only got one game, and unfortunately, we don't really know what the future of this franchise is because of Murayama passing away. I know I had read that they had notes from Murayama for the eventual sequels, because that's just
at least the
MO.
second game, I think, is what the note says.
Right. They had something at least drawn out beyond this. And that's really the appeal of these style games. Is the first game introduces you to the world, but the second game is like, okay, let's see where our character's at after the first game concludes, we in Suikoden, we were excited to see Flick and Victor show up again in Suikoden 2. I would definitely be interested to see how they, continue this franchise if that ever comes to pass.
Well, yeah, I mean, you think about a lot of the stuff that you remember. You think about TV series. You think about, Star Wars. Like you're thinking of multiple movies. You're thinking about all these things that have taken the time to build all that stuff years later and seeing the evolution of everything. So I haven't said anything much about this. This game was not my favorite. It was kind of a middle of the road game for me, but admittedly, I've tried Suikoden twice and gotten like 5-6 hours into it both times, and just look, there's something else over here. It just hasn't
5 or
clicked
6
for me.
hours. You're almost done with the game.
I know. I'm gonna push through it. I actually just put a board up in my den that I've had sitting around for 4 months. I'm like, all right, I bought this dry erase board. I meant to put it up. Like Suikoden is on the list for this year. I just need to, like, I could beat it in a weekend if I put some effort into it. So, but I don't understand what it is about these games that I actually don't understand what doesn't get me going without it. Like, this stuff is, I mean, it's not horribly different than like old school Dragon Quest. Like, these are old games from the 80s and 90s. Like, they play like that a little, the battle system's pretty much like that with, the combo attacks, like you said. And I actually, like, the castle building was the number one thing I liked about this game. I like that, like, kind of a little bit of spear grid kind of upgrade system on how everything was done. I loved the resource, making sure I got the resources so I could do the next thing with that. I loved the resource guild, so that helped that out. I liked the mini games that opened. I loved the card game. Love the card game. And I look back at this and I wrote down how much I loved the cooking battles. And then I remember what I learned afterwards, because I played this right at launch, and the cooking battles were broken. There was no way I could have lost. I was like, oh, you need dessert? Let me throw some, like, meat, and more meat. Yes, here we go. You win. Woohoo!
Yes. Dessert, tomato soup. Yes.
Yep. I was making stuff. I'm like, I am rocking this damn thing. I don't know what I'm doing, but I was so happy with that. Going back, I'd probably need a guide to nail it. But, like, I was so proud of myself. That was like, pat myself on the back. I got this. I know what I'm cooking. It's great. I know what that guy's saying. I'm going to make what he likes.
Did you enjoy the Beyblade minigame?
You know what? I didn't play that.
that was one that I heard a lot of people had issues with.
Oh, so I didn't actually get to experience. I didn't get the full level 4 part of the castle up because I kind of bumped on some of the recruiting heroes.
Yeah,
and I only ended up with what I got. I got 85 out of the 120. And I think it was frustration for 2 of them. One was a fishing one too. I remember that. Like, I'm going everywhere you tell me to fish. Like, what is wrong with this?
Yeah.
But I think it was one right near the beginning. There was one you had to get 5 eggs. I never opened up the racing. That was the one you had to get 5 eggs.
Yeah.
From fighting monsters. I couldn't get the egg drops. I even put in a couple hours worth of time to get the charms that boost the drops.
Yeah.
And I used the charm to increase the encounter rate. I was following people on Reddit. They're like, you go here. It was right near the first area. Might have even been right outside your castle town there.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be something like, obviously you've got these eggs, right? I had none of them. I tried and I tried and I tried. I do 30 minutes walking around, no eggs. And I'm beating the monsters over and over and over again. I'm like, this is the one that I'm supposed to do. And I don't know, that one kind of burned me out. And
yeah, the RNG drops. Yeah.
Yes. RNG and I mean, like I said, that wasn't that shouldn't have killed me on everything, but I don't know. I always talk about Dragon Quest VI as being my least favorite Dragon Quest, yet it's got a party, it's got multiple freaking worlds, it's got job systems. I love all these things, and I just don't understand why
it's
I don't
got
like the way it comes together.
The style minigame.
Yeah, well, that's all fine, but I don't know. It's it comes out as less as the sum of the parts to me. Same thing with this in Suikoden. I love all the parts. They do things right. I don't know what. It's my fault. It's me. It's not you.
It's me. It's not you.
It's definitely me, not you. But yeah, I mean, other than the glitches, which Tam and I will talk about, I'm sure at some point. there was nothing wrong with the game. It just I kind of bounced, but I finished it. It's one of the few games I think that I could say I finished, despite it really not gelling with me 100%.
My
But I can
friend,
see where I could see where more people, I could see why the ratings were higher than my feelings. I can see that.
I mean, it sounds like you had trouble with item drops. Let me introduce you to a luchador that increases item drops.
I wonder if I had him.
I will say that's going back to the characters. Just the wide variety of the random characters sometimes in Suikoden and Eiyuden, just a luchador out of nowhere.
El Alicanto. Also, I mean, if you didn't recruit him, you probably missed out on one of the most epic recruitments ever. You find him on top of an ice, like on the mountains where it's snowing, and he challenges you to a duel, which is another staple of the franchise. And you're battling him down a mountain. You're like snowboarding at some points. You're like sliding down the mountain as you and this luchador are fighting back and forth. And then afterwards, he's like, okay, I'll join you.
Definitely didn't have him then. That sounds very memorable that I didn't have him.
I think he tries to drop kick you off the mountain at some point. It's great.
It's wild. Yeah, that was definitely one of the highlight recruitments there.
I'll tell you what though, that sounds fun. I had fun with the army battles. Actually, I like the army battles.
Army battles, they weren't bad. I liked the fact that you can change up your army. You can put certain units into a group, and then they get like a little bit of a bonus. And some units have passives that they can bring along with them, and you can use. Some units have magic, and you can try to beat up the enemies before your physical fighters reach them. It was definitely very hectic. Sometimes battles just felt a little random. That was one issue I had. I think I got a game over once during one of the battles, even though I had the advantage. Just some random person just beat all my units for some reason. I don't know.
My personal favorite thing was they had many of the many Kickstarter names were like your units. So I always found it funny when the same person would die 3 times in a row.
Yes, yeah. As the tracker on the bottom would tell you all these characters were falling, and it was Kickstarter names. I did enjoy that.
and they some of them just they got grazed by an arrow. They died from a grazed arrow. What?
That was another thing. If you had kickstarted the game, you could go. I'm sorry. You could see your name in the credits, and I messed up my Kickstarter sign up or setup. So the only thing that shows up for me, because I was a Kickstarter person, is my Kickstarter number. It doesn't actually show my name.
Oh.
I was very sad. I was like, oh. I thought I did it. I thought I had submitted it correctly, but apparently not. Oh well. I was 473rd person to kickstart the game.
Oh, you had a low number.
I did. Yeah.
You were on that.
But it was pretty much Alex, our editor in chief. He gave us kind of the heads up that something Suikoden related was about to get announced. Mm-hmm. So I was, all up on ears just waiting for the announcement, and then that came out, and then the Kickstarter launched, and I immediately threw my donation out there.
Nice.
But yeah, there's a lot of fun characters. That's a lot of the fun. Randomness is trying different party members together, and seeing if they've got combo attacks, and then just seeing kind of how ridiculous or absurd the combos get. We had talked about the sharks, but they have a combo attack that one of the sharks just has a move that is very reminiscent of Jaws. But then if you do both the sharks, then they both do the same move where they come out of the ground and eat the person. And I think the music even sounds Jaws like.
Strike a few chords.
The Shiarks have like a song at some point after the shark nation joins you. They're like, well, we're part of the army now. Now you can hear our like battle cry. And it's just like is this a whole bunch of sharks singing in unison? You're like, what is going on here?
The Sharks were great, especially they were scared of water.
Yeah. It was good stuff. But yeah, I really just enjoyed the whole recruiting, all the unique characters. And then one thing I always liked is you could go back to the castle, and if you wanted to learn more about said character, there is someone that you can recruit that will just teach you or give you like little snippets of the character's backstory, which I thought was nice. It'll also tell you their favorite food. So if the cooking game was working, you could actually, use that to your benefit.
I think they did eventually fix the cooking game.
Oh, they did, yeah.
Yeah, but I think me and Matt were playing this right around the launch. So
Oh yeah, I
we
beat it
had-
within like 3 weeks of it launching.
yeah,
so.
I platinumed the game. I can't remember what one of the last things I was looking for. I think the Beyblade collection was the last thing I was doing for completion, because
One of them was the recipes too.
oh yeah, and you needed to do the cooking game to get some of the recipes, not all of them. Some were found in shops, and that was another thing. Yeah, I think actually the recipes were one of the last challenges for me, because the shops would randomly have different recipes, and you would either have to do a save state and try to refresh the item shop, or wait a certain amount of time for the refresh to happen naturally for the items to reshuffle. That's always fun.
And that was I will admit I have not gotten all the achievements on it because no.
Yeah, I remember when we were playing this as a group, I remember some people were having issues with the shark racing game. The controls were a little wonky at first. I not sure if they fixed that at all. I thought I had fun with that one, except if you move the controller, like if you move the stick too far, your ship would like just turn around completely, and you would mess up your time.
Yeah, I think I did that on one of the mandatory races, because several of the mini games, not all of them, you actually have to do as part of the story. So,
yeah, the card game was fun. The egg racing was fun, just because the announcer guy was just so full of life. Like he loved those egg foot races more than anyone alive. And you had to breed and do all sorts of things to make your egg foots the best of the bunch. I definitely did that a whole bunch of times as well.
See, that sounds like one I would have enjoyed. Only those damn eggs would have dropped.
Another thing that I thought was fun was the theater. You could
that was actually a stretch goal.
Oh, nice. You could, with all of your recruited characters, there was a theater that you could open up, and then you would find different plays, and the characters will. Some are better actors than other, but some of the comedy is putting the bad actors into the play, and just them watching them just fumble their lines or be nervous on stage. One of my favorite characters, Valentine. He was a great narrator. He was just very confident every time you gave him the mic. But yeah, some characters just weren't meant to be on the stage. They get stage fright. They get hesitant with their dialogue. They fumble their words, or have other slip ups,
Or just bad.
or they're just bad. Yeah, or they're just very monotone with their delivery. It's good stuff. Some are really good. Also, you need to get a good grade. So, while it is fun, you need to find the right people to put into the right parts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
And that was another of the things to the randomness is some of the plays were random shop finds.
Yep. Yeah, that's always it's always tough for me when there's items that either there's like trophies or something you're wanting that's hidden behind an RNG feature like that.
Mhm.
Because it's like, come on, I just let me give me like a reset button. Octopath Traveler Zero actually had that feature where you have a trading post and you can get different items, but like it's the same thing. Certain amount of time goes by, or I didn't find this out till much later in the game. There's a reset button that you can do in the trading post, and it just shuffles the items around for you. There, I'm like, oh my god, that's so handy. If I had seen that, hours before, that would have saved me so much time.
I get it. I know I've got friends right now trying to max out the Dragon Quest VII reimagined game, and there's a mini game with shuffling. Actually, both of you guys have played it, so that
Yeah.
mini game's if you're trying to go for full item completion, some of the items are only randomly in treasure chests in the shuffle mini game.
Yeah,
You got to play that over and over again to get the treasure chests to maybe get the item you want.
I think I was lucky because I bought Dragon Quest VII on the Switch too, so I never have to worry about trophies and completion because it doesn't
Exactly.
exist on the system.
I mean, and we know, unless I'm like really into a game, I don't care about trophies. I'll get what I get what I
Yeah.
get, and I'm happy to move on. Sometimes I'll go back and maybe work on something that's not too hard. Like, as an example, Eiyuden has one where you have to get the main character to level 99, which is a pain in the butt.
Mm.
Luckily, what you can do is there's experience boosters, and you don't need anyone else in the party. You can take everyone else out, and then he gets all of the experience instead of having it, divided. So it helps. Also, there's a proving ground in the bottom of the dungeon that is basically just like a boss rush, and you get experience and items for completing that. I think the toughest boss is at the bottom, at the highest challenge of that one. So that was fun, doing that completion. Also, was one of the best ways that I can remember to level up your characters. Also,
Yeah.
some characters that weren't good at the beginning of the game, once you hit a certain level threshold, they become like powerhouses.
Yeah, isn't that the case with
I think we're thinking of the same character, Mio.
Yeah, Mio, where she's not bad at the beginning, but she's definitely, a little on the weak. It seems like on the weaker side, and then because she, basically gets one shot easily, but
Yeah.
by the end of the game, she's a disaster.
Yeah, so Mio is one of the samurai characters that you get like really early in the game. And she's okay, like Tam said. She's not doing a lot of damage, but she's just there in the party. But a lot of other characters just outclass her initially, and then after a certain amount of time, I don't know if it's just a level cap or her weapon gets upgraded enough. But she starts doing insane damage. Where
one of her, she gets a unique rune where she ends up like being able to just one shot.
Yeah,
It literally will just one shot.
yeah, and if it's not a one shot, it's a crit, and it's doing like 4,000 damage. Where Noah, who's a really good damage dealer in his own right, is doing like maybe like 1,500 a turn. So she's ridiculous. That's another thing we didn't really talk about, like just all the different aspects of customization for your characters, is because as they level up, more rune slots become available, and you can equip stat boosting gear, or other gear that gives them abilities, or a whole bunch of things. So it adds to everyone's like uniqueness, and it gives you the freedom to like put anyone in the party and make them useful to a certain degree. Obviously, there's going to be better characters, but this game definitely is like, all right, you like this character, we're going to make them good enough for you to have in the group for the long run.
Yeah, Mio ends up wrecking face, especially if you build her side route. So some characters have will automatically get like a certain number of runes when they level, as they level, and they lock out the ability. But some other ones you can like customize what runes they do and don't get.
Yeah, and you can give Mio this one rune that basically makes her a glass cannon. It like doubles her damage, but also doubles the damage received to her. So she will die in a hit, but the thought process is you're gonna kill them before they kill you.
Sounds
And
familiar.
then,
I might have done
we were talking about a lot of the physical fighters. There's a lot of really cool mage characters in the game. You get a necromancer named Marcus. Thought that was an interesting name for the necromancer.
You also get a necromancer who ends up controlling Marcus.
Yeah, the girl. She's
she's really powerful too.
The vampire kind of. Yeah, and then you get a character that kind of breaks the game. Because while Mio is good at single target damage, you recruit a character named Momo, who is a magical wizard who takes the shape of a little girl, and his stats are ridiculous. He is so overpowered. He gets I think all of his rune slots are unlocked, so then you can give him any elemental rune you want, or you can boost his magic damage with his I think fire rune that he has equipped or something like that, and just watch him obliterate waves of enemies.
Yeah, Momo's really powerful.
And one thing real quick that I really like that they did about this game is they play it straight. They don't make Momo a joke character where like Noah looks at Momo and is like grossed out or offended at all. They're just like, okay, you're a wizard dressed up as a girl. That's fine. Like, and that's it. Like they
comes off as really like just confused by it, but it's like, okay.
Yeah. They're just like, all right, man. It's kind of like that whole flea situation in Chrono Trigger where you look however you want. Like, no one's gonna ask you any questions about it. And I thought that was cool. Like, they don't make him a joke or anything. It's just like, all right, this character is this, and then you move on. And then you also have the magical girls, which there was like a Sailor Moon character that you can recruit. Sailor Moon. She's like a little magical girl as well. Marielle? Is that her name?
That was it. Yes, I was just looking her up because I was trying to find another name, and Muriel was that one. Yep.
And I think she's got a combo that is like just called like the magical girl attack.
Yeah, where the three of them combined.
Yeah. I'm trying to look it up right now. But yeah, the duels in this game, I appreciate the cinematics of them. I thought that they were really fun to look at. I didn't really enjoy how they set it up. If it had just been,
I felt they were too they were basically like super scripted.
Yeah. If they were just, a rock, paper, scissors battle kind of thing, like the other duels in Suikoden had been, I think I would have liked it more. But you have a few duels in the game, and they're all very pretty. But most of the time, you're not really doing a lot of the fighting. You're kind of just watching the cinematics unfold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although, as we mentioned, going back, they're really pretty. The Luchador one of the best.
Yes.
There's one with Marissa where she's taking on
the vampire guy, right?
The vampire undead guy.
Yeah.
In Marcus's castle, which is also really heavily cinematic fight. But yeah, you didn't have like almost any control, and that one is even worse because that one you can actually lose.
Yeah. Oh, you can lose a few of them. The final battle against the main antagonist, Dukes Aldrich. It's so pretty, but it's also a very long encounter because you're not only fighting with Noah, Sane and Marissa join in, and just the three of them are are flying all around, and it's really cool to watch. But also, I think I had to restart a few of those duels because there's just I was just like, all right, well, I messed something up, and then
Yeah, it's if you mess up options, you actually can lose the. But what was, and then there's the one with Saint. There's one actually with no insane very early on. I think it's the first one in the game, and you're kind of expected to lose it.
Yes, that is one of those situations where you can win, but it's really hard, and it's one of the scripted losses in the game. But yeah, the magical girl combo we were talking about, Milor, Carrie, who is this game's version of Vicky from the Suikoden series, and then Momo. All three of them, they have like a magical transformation, and they do heavy damage to all the enemies. There's also a character that you get later on in the game. His name is Dijkstra. He's one of the Taurus race. I think that's what they are. They're just like giant cows, bipedal cows. But what he does is he's nothing really special as far as an attacker, but he's got a special ability where he buffs everyone's attack. So you just basically have him there so that he makes everyone else stronger. And I mean, it's just so useful. So like there are characters that are just there, for their boosting effects.
I will say, you guys enjoyed the card game. Let's go back to because it's been brought up a few times about the card game, and you guys really enjoyed it. I absolutely hated it.
I can't even remember where it is, but I've got like 3 times in my notes how much I liked it. And thinking back, I'm like, oh yeah, I like that card game.
Yeah, I liked collecting the cards, and then you would find new cards in random spots, and then you would be able to build out your whole deck basically. And you could do it, you could have like a high deck or a low deck, and you could set it up that way. And it was kind of like there's different colors, and then each color had like a skill attached to it. Now I'm trying to remember how it worked.
I know, I'm watching it play right now, and
I just remember
you were in 3 different battles. Like you were trying to get points in 3 different areas, and if you won 2 out of the 3, you won the battle. You had like 9 cards or something like that. Eventually you're playing 9 cards, but they're in like 3 groups of 3, and you're trying to put them down. And I know there's like different rules about which goes where, and like you said, there's different abilities with some of the cards. And
yeah, the different abilities came about once you started getting the characters associated with the cards. As far as the new cards go, I will admit, I just cheesed it and just bought them. I actually almost have that achievement unlocked because I just throw money at the problem.
I mean, I just remember, seeing there's a collectible list, and I'm like, all right, well, it's like Pokemon. I gotta get them all.
But one of the achievements is to play all the characters, all 100 plus characters. I'm just like, no.
Yeah, because you have the list, and then you can play everyone, and I think there's like a difficulty level 2, and like certain characters are easy, and then certain characters are actually card like pros. So those characters are harder. So you can start by playing the easier characters, and then just get used to the system, and then try your hand with the harder characters. And you can even play like some of the villains, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Duke's Aldrich is one of the enemies you can fight.
And yeah, once you do collect all the characters, there is a certain event where an assassin gets free because you kidnap, or you're not kidnap, but you capture this assassin. He gets out of your jail cell, and while everyone's celebrating, he throws like a knife at Noah, and Periel jumps in the way. And if you don't recruit all the characters, I do believe she dies there. But if you collect all the characters, your sister, who is the final character to join you, and who's also self-appointed luckiest girl alive, jumps in and deflects the knife away, and then finally joins the group. And she's also good because she's got a whole bunch of rune slots available, so you can customize her pretty pretty freely and make her just an absolute damaging unit.
Mhm.
Oh, and she's blessed by the runes.
Yeah. But yeah, lots of unique characters. I would love to see, where these characters go from here. But we just don't know. The uncertainty of the series is just unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I do check their website occasionally, and I mean, the company's still going. Last I saw, just they haven't put out any news.
Yeah, I'm still in their Discord, but there hasn't been really any, like they've got like merchandise announcements and that's it. Then they had the DLC, which I never got. I've heard it's lackluster.
2 of the 3 are lackluster. So yeah, I was waiting for us to bring it up. So there's 3 DLC for this game, one involving stories for different characters. So the first one was Sane, which kind of goes into the events. So during the last like major battle, you find out that, hey, the prince has been saved, and because you're trying to convince this one of the generals to betray him, and so that goes into how like they free the prince and whatnot, and you find out a bit of Sane's backstory with why he's early in the game like very supportive of his country, because he had an older brother who died and whatnot. So, but it's a little bit of a lackluster DLC. The second one is starring Marissa, and you actually see more of the I forget the group they call the people with the masks, but the masks, they're basically a very bad group that is kind of like overseeing the things in the background. And Marissa just calls them masks, so it's not an inappropriate, it's not some random term. But yeah, you do find out more. You do run into a second one from them, because there was one that you see like all the time in the story. Mm-hmm. And then the last one, though, is starring Marcus, where and the fall of like his kingdom and whatnot, which I thought was is actually one of the best.
Okay.
That one was very well done story wise, and you only could do it with like 4 characters, and you actually see like what Momo looked like 1,000 years ago.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah, so you actually see Momo as the great sage that he was.
Yeah,
and why he actually and you actually see what causes him to be like become like a fighter for justice. A magical girl. It's actually really good. So the only one that I felt worth it was Marcus. Yeah. Except for Signs does give you one more character.
I did see that, and then they become available in the main game, right?
Yeah. And it's actually his older brother's
widow,
ex-girlfriend, because he's dead. She's not really a widow because they weren't married, but
okay, gotcha.
But she did like him.
And I like Sane's story. He's someone that's conflicted because he is part of the Empire. He's part of Dux Aldrich's army. So he is he's opposition to Noah and everyone else for the beginning part of the game, but he's got his dad's speaking in his ear and kind of telling him that he needs to stick with his country. And Sane knows that they're in the wrong, but he doesn't want to disappoint his dad because, like you said, Sane's brother had passed away in another war, so he's a little conflicted, but he finally grows a pair and decides that this is not right, and he ends up just I think there's a major war battle where he flips on his group and joins with the team.
That does sound familiar, yeah, because eventually he's there with you.
Yeah,
right in step.
And I thought that was nice. He's got a really cool story. Noah's basically just he's just the free spirit, and he wants to do good. His hometown gets burned to the ground, and then he wants some revenge, but then he realizes, I need to be a better person, and he just keeps on, doing the right thing. And then Marissa, she's part of that forest tribe. She's looking out for her group, and then her interests align with Noah. They go into some ruins together, and then they see all the big bads have teamed up, and then they realize that that they can't do it alone, that they need to group up, and they got to recruit all these other nations around them in order to beat the big bad. And that includes like a group of dragon people that I think the king he's like a super greedy guy, and like his dragon subordinates, they realize, I think that's one of the Periel scenes that I liked. She tricks the king, and it ends up being that his greediness leads to their undoing, and then all his subordinates, or at least a few of his subordinates, change sides in the middle of an army battle and then help you out as well. And I think, isn't there like a tree fighting a dragon at one point? I seem to recall that in one of the war battles too.
Yes, yeah.
Can't remember exactly when that happens though.
The great spirit of that's pretty late game, but yeah, the great spirit of the forest that you save like super early on ends up like becoming this huge tree and fighting this weird dragon amalgamation demon thing.
Yeah, and I was definitely getting Lord of the Rings vibes during that scene with Treebeard whooping butt. But and another thing that's fun, depending on who you use the most in the game, at a certain point when you're getting ready for the final battle, Noah will be on the top of the castle, and the character that I think you've used the most will come up there, and they'll have like a heart-to-heart conversation. And as you know, there are a lot of characters, so this is, if you want to see all of them, it's probably just a good idea to go on YouTube and try that out, because
someone else has done it for you.
Yes. Thank you, person on YouTube.
So what you're saying is you haven't completed the game until you've gotten all of those cutscenes.
That's right. Yes. That's what the final trophy is, to do that 120 times.
That would be a pretty trolly achievement, but also
it really
hilarious.
would be.
Luckily, that is not one of the real game achievements.
Yeah, no, I kid.
That video is 5 hours long.
Oh, you
Really?
found it.
Yeah, I immediately. Yep, 5 hours and 24 minutes. My goodness, all character conversations before final battle.
Yep. So they spent their time on this game. You can definitely tell this was a passion project, and it wasn't just Murayama that was a part of it. The artist that worked on Suikoden 1 and Suikoden 4, Junko Kawano, she also contributed. She's the artist for this game. And I want to say there's the composer from the Suikoden series is there too. I have to look that up real quick. But I mean, it was basically like all of the people that worked on Suikoden. They kind of just got back together and made this game.
So part of the reason why I've been quiet this whole show is because I only played an hour of this, and I just wasn't feeling it. And I think a lot of that had to do with finishing. That game came out the same year as Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and that's what I tried to play next. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I imagine it's a good game. It's just I finished something so good. And for some reason, I just was not feeling this when I booted it up initially. I ended up with it because Target was having a buy one get one half off sale, and I thought I was having a big brain moment and being like, well, I'll just do a couple of pre-orders and then cancel the pre-orders, not realizing that the discount was applied to both things. So that you can't, it comes out to the amount, but the way that they apply the discount doesn't work like that, if that makes any sense. It's like some convoluted math, but it was like, well, at least I pre-ordered stuff that I actually wanted. And eventually I would like to get to this game because it does sound basically like Suikoden 3 with the serial numbers filed off.
Really closer to one or two.
Or one or two, the real.
Two. I think more two.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say yeah, it's like a more at least as far as like quality of life stuff, it's a more polished version that you would see in the original Suikoden. I don't think that the story is as strong as Suikoden. I think that the Murayama kind of hit the nail on the head with that first one. And you know the availability of true runes and whatnot. It just kind of built a really great world to build, you know, and expand on. And that's not saying that they can't do that with this game. It's just that we don't know yet, and there's just a big unknown cloud kind of hanging over it now. But for what it is, I really enjoyed Eiyuden Chronicles. I had been missing this feeling for a long time. Not since Suikoden 5 was there a game that, you know, kind of just harkened to that feeling I had where, you know, you go around, you recruit characters, you do mini games, you've got all these things that are, you know, fun to do, and you know, you create your army, and then you tackle the big bad with a whole bunch of unique and colorful characters, and that's what this game truly is, and that's one of Yoshitaka Murayama's, you know, that's his lasting memory. Is he's created a lot of these just masterpieces, and I would have loved to see him expand on this. I keep on going back to that. It's a very sad thing for me, because, you know, and he didn't get to see this game come out. Like, this was his passion project, and oh man, it's kind of heartbreaking, you know.
It really is, but at least something happened with it instead of the game being in limbo for God knows how long. I mean,
Penny blood.
Oh
yeah,
no.
like, you know, the 2010s and later on in the even some what am I trying to say? Some Kickstarters now, you hear about them and then they just go off into the ether and nothing ever comes of them. And even some of the successful ones, like Mighty Number 9, happened, but it just kind of landed with a thud. And it
No,
makes me
I don't know if you saw that company. That company just went belly up.
yeah, it was Mighty Number 9, its only game, I think.
Well, yeah, only game. Although he did like work on a number of other things, just not anything with his company.
Yeah. And I mean, it kind of we thought in the 2010s that Kickstarter was going to be the savior of indie gaming, and that we was going to get all these spiritual successors that the big companies would make, and then come to find out, surprise, surprise, making games is hard. So the fact that this did come out is kind of a miracle,
Yeah.
if you ask me.
Yeah, I appreciated it for what it was. I wanted Suikoden, it gave me Suikoden.
And one of these days when I'm looking at my backlog, I will kind of keep this one at the top of my backlog.
I mean, it's not it's I would say it's like a 3.5 out of 5, at least by our standards. I mean, it wasn't a bad game. It definitely not, you know, the greatest thing ever, but
Just avoid the Switch version.
unless they fixed,
Yes.
unless they actually
Please
fixed
do.
it. But the last, I don't know, the last major update, because remember they had that big update, and I tried it right when they did that, and yeah, no, the game still froze on me.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it before the show started, but when this game was announced, it was announced to release on the Switch successor. It never was supposed to be a Switch game. So the people creating this game had never created the blueprints for this game to run on the Switch. And I don't know what happened along the way, whether Nintendo just kept on, you know, delaying the Switch 2, or there was, you know, some information that just wasn't being, you know, provided for Rabbit and Bear, but they were kind of strong armed into creating a Switch version since the Switch 2 had, it just came out last year, and Eiyuden came out in what, 2024, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they hadn't planned to create a version for the Switch, but then they ended up doing it anyway. And lo and behold, something that they hadn't planned to have work well didn't work well when they released it on the Switch. And yeah, I feel bad for the people that had a bad experience playing this game on the Switch.
Apologies accepted.
But PC. I'm thinking. Tam, did you have any problems with the PC version?
I think I had one problem, but I think that might have been because that was when my RAM sticks were dying. So, and the game just randomly just shut down.
I played it on the PS5. I didn't have any trouble with it.
But outside of that, and again, that may have been because of my RAM sticks, so I'm not going to blame the game on that, because I was having a lot of problems with a lot of games. But outside of that, no, I had no issue with the PC version.
Were you able to pull up your final Frozen number for the Switch version that you played?
Not the final, because I think I just stopped counting at one point. But the last time I reported, let me go back to our Discord, because I actually did. I was posting these on our Discord, and
while Tam's looking, Matt, he would come across. He also played the Switch version, and he would come across crashes in the castle. So he actually found like routes around the castle so he wouldn't crash his game.
Yeah.
It's still crashed, it's just not as bad.
I did get, I my notes, I was like, I've actually got it down to like 5%. Like I could, probably do a lot. But yeah, I had crashes. Anything that activated the load screen in the castle could do it, whether I was upgrading the castle, fast travel, walking into rooms. I swear at one point it was just walking into rooms, and then I was like, oh, okay, fast traveled, all that worked, and then boom, that hit one time, and I'm like, damn it. And then I remember the upgrade one knocked me pretty good one time. So I looked at my completion time in the game and compared it to my Switch time, and I lost about 5 hours. I never felt like I lost a lot of progress, but I mean, you got to think how many crashes I had if I lost 5 hours, 5-10 minutes at a time.
I mean, the game auto saves every time you enter and leave a room. So that's probably why you didn't feel like you lost a lot of time.
Yeah. But it was, but still that added up to 5 hours difference. And I never leave my game sitting around. I'm a numbers person, so I want to make sure it's a pure number at always times. So, maybe I lost 4.5 hours, but it was a good thing. And then at the end, the last 6 hours of the game, it was crashing every 30 to 40 minutes.
Yeah, for some reason, the castle just crashed more end of the game than like early in the game. I think it's just because of everything that is going on in the castle.
Do you guys have any total sales for this game or no? I can't seem to find an actual number online.
But as far as, going to my count while we try and find the total sales, I had one fatal error, which, that's
a
one
hard crash.
Someone died for that error.
Yeah, that's so bad that it actually generates a report to Nintendo. I had, and this was May 21st, 2024. So I had at least three freezes. And this was before, like, as I was getting to the end of the game, I hadn't hit end game. And then I had 2 errors. So the game crashed out, but it wasn't fatal. And I remember the very first freeze I had was actually the going into the battle that was in the sort of Asian style town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was, I forget if it was the first one or the second one, because you had 2 like almost back to back. But going into one of them just froze on the loading screen.
What do you think the chances are that playing this on a Switch 2 might help?
I don't know.
I had problems with load times too, so maybe that'll fix it. But
yeah, it might fix the load times, but
it just makes me wonder how much of the issues are because of the lack of RAM, especially if you're having more crashes at the end of the game.
Did you guys enjoy the soundtrack? I really enjoyed the intro song. thought that's a good way to get you pumped to play the game. I thought most of the music in the game was inoffensive, if not a little catchy.
Uh, I had no issue with the music. I'm not the I did play with it on. Everything seemed to fit well, but I don't necessarily think anything stood out to me.
I'll tell you what, during the final like cutscene when you're making your escape out of that last castle and like the credits or no, I don't think the credits are rolling just yet, but the song is playing with the girl singing the I can't remember the name of it, but they give you like a little message at the end, and it just says, like, thank you, Murayama, or something like that, like a kind of nod to him. I was like, oh, hold back my tears.
Someone cutting onions. As far as pricing goes, it's still $50 on all of the storefronts, but goes on sale quite often for like 15. And you can pick up used copies, at least of the PlayStation version, for around 20 to 30, depending on your used market of preference. So it sounds like if you're patient, you could probably get a pretty good deal on this game. And $15 does not sound like a bad price for this.
Oh, definitely not.
No, that's a very good price for this.
Especially when you think about how expensive some of the old school Suikoden games used to go.
Yeah, don't I know it?
So it sounds like we're ready for the round table, unless we have anything else we want to add.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think I've postulated enough.
I think we got it here.
Let's take a brief musical interlude, and then we will come back.
What?
And welcome back to RPG Backtrack, where we are now getting into the roundtable, our thoughts, our feelings, our favorites, our memories. As I always ask first, what is your favorite and or funniest moment from this game?
I'll start off because
yeah, go ahead.
if you want, mine will be a two-parter with the next question too. So early on in the game, one of the first persons, and I want to say she's probably like the first like real big healer that you get Francesca, and she looks like a white mage with a big staff and like outside somewhere, and there's like these
total priestess vibe.
Oh yeah. Like JRPG default white mage female character, and she's like getting hassled by three thugs or something outside the bar, and just quiet voice, whatever, and then all of a sudden, and I had to pull it up here to read her stuff, she starts screaming at them. She's like, don't make me go over there and break you, you gropey little pasty-faced, pigeon-licking, garbage-breath punks. Go fall off the mother-forsaken map, yeah? And then, I don't know if she, like, beat the... I can't remember this scene there. She's like, I'm pretty sure I told you to keep your hands out of my zone. Yeah, I'm going to break your little handy-wandy with my big bad words. She starts, like, throwing stuff back at them and talking to different stuff. I'll say it again, real slow for you and your moron friends. I do not like you. I do not ever want to see you again. Like, periods in between every word. It's just... And the stuff she yells in battle, was her last comment to them. And if I see you again, you're all dead. You hear me? Dead! Now get the hell out of my sight, maggots.
That's
like just
funny.
Francesca's she's a hoot.
She's got two different voices when she is talking, like, because she'll get like that. She'll have some lines in battle that just scream, or I think when she wins, like, right? Doesn't the last player who battles like have a line at the end or something like that?
It's not the last player, but
it's somebody.
It is random, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, she pulls out that voice again, and like scrolling back here to the beginning of that dialogue, you can like see the ridiculous wide eyes on the hero. He is just like standing there, and like all of a sudden, like, what the hell? So I made sure I kept her the whole way. I rode that train all the way. I know there were better ones like Momo, you were talking about earlier, but that one stayed in my party as
Yeah,
like
because she has very low health. She is hard to keep alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, she was.
Oh no, I rode that train too, man.
I was like, and it was the humor. It was just for the lulls of it there, man.
It's great because you don't normally see that with your healer. She's very nice and lovey, and then all of a sudden just screaming at you and just very aggressive, and you're like, what is going on? And then she's like, all right, time to heal you. Wait, what?
Yep. And then since Ryan, you pointed me to the 5-hour video of all the character stuff while you were talking earlier, I look it up, and she's recounting how she wanted to be a white mage. She was sick as a kid. A wandering healer came around, and she knew she wanted to be around and help. And you hear her is like, oh, that's cool. She's like, oh, and then one day I met you. I was gently admonishing some street thugs, my heart full of pity for their plight. When you saw me and thought I might need saving, I'm like, whoa, that's some revisionist history right there. Gently admonishing, heart full of pity for their plight. She's out there cussing them out. That was great. Oh, yes, and Noah's next line is like, did you just say, quote, gently admonishing? So the scene is great.
Yeah, Francesca's one of the true greats of that game. Not because she's a great character. She's sort of mid. I mean, she's great early on as a healer, but her health pool definitely catches up to her, especially
yeah. There are definitely better.
But the personality.
Yeah, I really I started just cracking up when the sharks join you, and then you go to the chief's hut, and all right, they're like, all right, now it's time to do our Shiark, passion song. And then all the sharks in the room, they all just, they'd have their little chant, they have their their cry for war or whatever, and they all start belting out a song, and it's just really funny. I was like, I wasn't really expecting that. YouTube that at whenever you have a chance. It's a good time.
I have to admit, when I was pulling images for the thumbnail, I went to Sam's review and saw the picture that she had posted of the sharks. I didn't know they were called Shiarks. It was like, oh, shark people. And I couldn't help but chuckle a little bit just because of how goofy they all looked. Like how do they see? Their eyes are on the back of their head and off to the side, but they
Good
sound
peripheral vision, which
they sound hilarious.
Oh, they are hilarious. So my favorite moment and fun, and this plays into the Shiarks too, is a very late game. There's a scene where you're like basically entrapped by the evil guys, and you have to run away, and you end up in this town that they've destroyed all the boats from, so you can't actually make the escape. So you're standing there like, we'll make a last stand type of thing. And then one of the other characters speaks up. It's like, do you hear that? And you're all like, what? It's like, what are you saying? And then it's like, no, wait, I do hear it. I hear singing. And the next thing you see is that cutting out to all the Shiarks coming on their ships. And they're like, why are we on the and they're all scared of the ocean. Like, why are we out here? If we fall in, we're going to die. And it's like, grow some, and one of the Shiarks is like, grow some spine, you filthy sharks. And then you hear the song of their battle song is playing while this is happening. They're so goofy.
Scar, you'll like this one. I'm reading I guess I found a couple different YouTube links of it. Reading the comments. Apparently, this was a very common bug that on PC, like I'm reading comment after comment after comment, that on PC, a lot of people got stuck on the song. It would play on repeat forever.
That's great.
Like I'm just reading reviews like, God damn it, this song, every time I heard it, I knew I'd have to frickin' load a save.
I wouldn't say that's a bug. That's a feature.
Well, apparently not for this guy. Like, thank you for uploading this cutscene as it froze up on my game and I had to skip it. Well, apparently on
Oh wow.
Switch there's a loop song never ends until you skip it. Dang, this part was bugged for me. So, God, my game was bugged. The song went on infinitely. That's all the comments on the song.
That's hilarious.
I don't know, man. When songs repeat a bunch, even if they are catchy, they can really get on my nerves.
It's the song that never ends.
Yeah,
We
that's
just
what I
needed
was
lamb
thinking.
chop.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. You read my mind. Do we have favorite characters?
Well, I think
Francesca.
both of them. Yeah, I was gonna say both might have already been said. Like the whole Shi'ar race, loved that. Made sure that was towards the middle of the game, and I thought I was doing good with my party, and I definitely made room for one of them. And yeah, definitely Francesca.
Oh,
That
I mean
went all the way.
the Shi'ar guy you get the initial Shi'ar guy you get. I mean, he is just so broken.
Mhm.
He's such a tank. Like even like late game bosses only were dealing like one damage to him with just how tanky he is.
Yeah, I've got a few characters, but my favorite character in the game is like a debonair character that is part of Sane's group. His name is Valentine. He's just charming. He's got a really cool look. Think Roy Mustang from Full Metal Alchemist. He's kind of got that style. He's even got like the blue garb and everything. He fights with two daggers. So like whenever I, had taken control of Sane's group, I was always like, all right, well, at least Valentine's here. Not the greatest person in fights, but he had enough rune slots that you could make him useful. But like he was just really fun just to hear him like speak. He had had a lot of speaking moments because he was one of the more important characters in the game. And I kind of like that style of character that is kind of like he's got an important job, but he's also kind of a free spirit. Like here's one of his quotes. He goes, "Oh, come on, lighten up. It's a small miracle any one of us even exists. So while we're here, let's live it up." He's great. I had mentioned El Alicanto. I love the Hispanic ties to his character, the luchador. I think he translates to Golden Eagle or something like that. But he's fun. His recruitment scene is ridiculous. I'll have to show you guys that because I think I clipped it while I was playing the game. There's also one of the best tanks in the game is a girl named Reyna. She's got this huge shield, and you need to fight her and beat her in like a certain amount of turns before she joins you. She's fun. One of Marissa's teammates, Wave, is pretty cool. He's like this dude with glasses. He's got a giant sword. Very, very powerful physical fighter. He's got like a hit all move. And he's just got a cool design. Anyone with capes is pretty cool. Who else? There's a whole bunch. You get a kangaroo with the great sword. There's a character.
And he was in the other game.
Yeah,
Rising.
he's one of the three protagonists in Rising. There's a character that's just hidden in like a black, or he's like you just see his beady like eyes because he's hiding inside a bag, and he's
Oh yeah,
like,
the cat in the bag.
You don't know if it's a cat because you never see its face.
No. It is a cat because he does.
That's right, because you find out its race, and it is one of the cat races. But it's funny because you need to recruit them so that you can increase your inventory. You've got a lot of really cool, unique characters. I definitely want to see where they take. I think one of the funnier characters feel like a troll character. But I had mentioned the Beyblade minigame, and you need to recruit this old man, and then he tells you and kind of takes you down this road to become the Beyblade master. I think it's called Baygoma in the game, not Beyblade.
Baygoma, yeah.
But I will always call it Beyblade. But like you get this old man, and he leads you down this mini quest, and at the end you get a character named Reed who's like the Baygoma champion to join your team, and then you use him in a fight, and he's terrible. He's just not good at all. He's almost one of the last characters you get in the game, and just not really worth it. But he's got a funny unite with the old guy where they combine their Begomas, and a giant Begoma, like bigger than everyone, attacks like the enemy. And lastly, there's an old lady named Lamb who is actually really useful too. She's got an ability where she uses it and she turns into a younger version of herself, and then she becomes really strong. It's unfortunate because it's only lasts for a few turns, and once you use it once, you can't use it again. If that had like reset or refreshed after a while, she probably would have been one of the best characters in the game. She's good, she's really good, but like in bursts, because it doesn't last forever, and she's a lot weaker in her old lady form.
There's also, so my other favorite is Milana, who's the necromancer who joins you.
Yeah, she bosses Marcus around. Oh, but real quick about Marcus, I thought Marcus's story was funny because initially he is definitely an antagonist to the group. He attacks Marissa's home with an army of undead, but then his castle gets overrun by by a vampire, and then he's like, "Hey, yo, I was living there." And then he's like, "All right, I guess I'm gonna join you guys so we can overthrow this vampire and I can get my castle back." And then after you beat that vampire, he's like, "All right, you guys aren't that bad. I guess I'll join your army." So then you just got just a skeleton guy joining.
But
you.
with the reason I like Milana is like for most of the game, like when she first shows up, she's just you think she's just a chimboyo, just like a teenager who thinks she has a lot of power, but she has like no power. She's just like there, and no, she actually has a lot of power.
Yeah, no, like I said, she bosses Marcus around so she can control the undead king, basically.
Yeah, and then the DLC with Marcus actually goes into like the whole Marcus being betrayed by his friend and what happens with his why the friend betrayed him and all that. So as I said, that was like the one good DLC in the game.
Definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, like Sane's gives you an extra character, a little more backstory on Sane. Marissa's kind of goes into the stuff that leads into her meeting the robot girl. I forget her name.
Isn't it just EO? Hold on. Man, I can't remember. Nil,
yeah. So it goes into that, and also her meeting up with the Noah's sister and stuff too. But
you also early on in the game, one of the stronger characters you can recruit that isn't part of the main story is a character named Yusuke. And right when I saw Yusuke, I was like, this guy looks like Kuwabara from Yu Yu Hakusho if Kuwabara was wearing like a pink outfit.
Yeah, got even the down to the pompadour.
Yeah, he's got the headband and the haircut. He's got that whole Kuwabara look. And he's actually pretty useful in battle. I think instead of defending, his move is a charge up move. So you take a turn to build some power, and I think he can do it at least 2 times, and then he can unleash a pretty strong attack, especially at the time you get him. And he's just got a very unique look, but par for the course in this game. There's a lot of unique looking characters.
Yeah, that's one good thing about both Eiyuden and Suikoden is the characters always look unique. There's obviously like some similarities because of like race and whatnot, but
I am normally not a fan of RPGs with tons and tons of characters. See Chrono Cross. Just because I feel like the more characters you have, the more the game kind of loses its identity. But one of the exceptions is the Suikoden.
Yeah, that is the identity.
Yeah, because one, it is the identity, and 2, you're building more of a community than
right. Yeah. Not all characters are people that you would use in battle. Mm-hmm. You get people that open up item shops or open up mini games, or they'll give you hints, or some people just wander around the castle and they don't do anything.
Mm-hmm. And the game mentions building a community. Those games mention that kind of stuff too. So that's why I'm looking forward to playing this one at some point. Did everybody say their favorite character?
Yeah.
I believe we did.
Okay, because my next question, and you kind of touched on this, are you chomping at the bit for any Eiyuden Chronicle too?
I mean, yeah, Suikoden isn't Suikoden without world building. So, this is just a piece of the puzzle, and we'll see if that puzzle ever gets fully developed or not. But I will definitely be there if an Eiyuden 2 gets announced.
I'm willing to fatal error again.
Send those notes to Nintendo.
It's like there is a part of me that wants to pick up the Switch version of this game just to see if it does play any better on
Oh, no.
Switch on a Switch 2.
Oh yeah, I mean that definitely be an interesting thing. I haven't seen anyone try that yet, so that would be an interesting thing to try out.
And then finally, do you guys have any memories tied to this game?
Well, I had mentioned it before, but the second I saw that Murayama was making a spiritual successor to Suikoden, I was all on board. I wanted to play a Suikoden in today's day and age, and I got it, and I was not disappointed.
And it just occurred to me a better wildcard question than asking for a sequel. Should have been, did any of you back this?
I did.
Did you back it enough to get a pet in the game?
A pet?
So I was doing some Googling and saw that I guess one of the backer rewards was that you could have a in-game NPC named after one of your pets.
Oh no,
Oh.
I didn't get that. I didn't spend that
I'm
much
sure that was a pretty penny. Yeah.
Yeah, that was basically every cat, dog, and animal you could interact with was named after someone's pet.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that to Kelly. I was like, oh, yep, all the cats have names. I didn't realize there was a backer thing. That's pretty cool.
That is part of the reason why I want to play this is to see all the cats. And you saying that there is a playable one.
There's a few. There's one that hides behind like a Chinese dragon mask, and they're like a frontline fighter. I don't think they got a lot of hit points though, because they're a frail cat. But they're brave, damn it.
He's also very powerful.
Yeah.
It always did make me kind of sad that Suikoden 4, the one with the cat characters, is the black sheep, considered the black sheep of the series.
I mean, it's a black sheep of the series for other reasons than the
Oh
cat
yeah.
character.
Well, no, I don't think the cat characters have anything to do with it. It makes me sad that that one isn't considered very good.
I was like, oh, look, man, Suikoden. These games have a cult following, and those fans love the way that the series is structured with 6 playable party members and all sorts of other things. Let's change the structure. Wait, what? No, no. Murayama, come back. You never finished your story. That was the beginning of the end with Suikoden, because the directors didn't know what to do with the story. So every future Suikoden game was set in the past, because they had no idea how to finish what Murayama had started.
Pretty much.
I wish that they would have been able to make amends with each other, because that's another thing. Suikoden deserves a true ending. And guess what? We're getting a gacha game, and guess what that set in the past. Because, like I said, they don't know what to do.
But yeah. So how much did you back it for, Ryan?
I spent over $100. I think I might have spent the 150 package, if memory serves me right. I got the game, the DLC, and then my name in the credits, or my backer number in the credits. And I want to say there was some other stuff, but I got like a PDF of the Eiyuden game cover, but in the very ugly Suikoden 1 style art. Let me see if I can share that in the Zoom. But yeah, it's very ugly. But it's funny.
They made this intentionally.
Yes, it's definitely a nod to Suikoden 1 has an infamously ugly PS1 like
Yeah.
cover.
It
But
looks like the worst American fantasy novel you've ever read.
yeah, where did I save that? Oh, backer exclusive right here.
That's funny that they actually acknowledged that.
Pasting. There you go.
And Matt, I guess your memories were dealing with crashing and heartache.
Well, it's funny because you talk about the Kickstarter. Like, I know the exact moment that Kickstarter, or like the day or the week or whatever, because it was in, what did we say, June, July, or July of 2020, and July of 2020. I was taking my kids to Legoland quite often because like everything was shut down. You're in lockdown, but Legoland was open, and we had passes, and we're like, we're going to use these passes. There was no summer camp, no whatever. Like, let's just drive to Legoland every couple days, and it was dead. But I live a good hour plus outside of Legoland, so I was listening to podcasts like all the time, like really binging quite a few, and just remembering you guys on RPG Cast talk about it all the time. Like,
Mm.
oh, look at and Kickstarter check in with that like every week. So that was my first on my radar, and then like I said, I've bounced off Suikoden a couple times. Really didn't have any plans to buy this game, and then as it started getting reviewed right at release time, the Switch version was getting like, oh, so many crashes, so many bombs, blah 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 blah, and thanks to Zach on our site, he had backed it on done the
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter. Yeah, he had done the Kickstarter, and like Ryan was just super excited for the game, like didn't want anything to mess with his enjoyment. So immediately went out and day one bought the game on like PlayStation 5 and just kind of put on our staff back channel. He's like, "So I got this Nintendo code. Anybody want it?" And I was like, I let it sit there for a couple hours. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And then, even though it wasn't my most enjoyable time, there was enough to get me through. Also, I was like, this person spent all this money. I will honor them. I will not just throw it in my backlog and not play. So thanks, Zach, and thanks, COVID, for having me tune in a lot more.
Yeah, I think I got a Switch digital copy I gave to my brother.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's ever played it.
See, no, I was not going to do that.
And I have to admit your Legoland story was kind of funny since it sounded like you had that entire park to yourself.
Oh, we did. Yeah, I didn't mention this here. We were talking beforehand. It's the only time that I really think that like I came out ahead in any sort of like a money deal with any business. We had bought passes that year, and my first son was so young that he was free, and I'm a school teacher, and they were giving free teacher ones, and then they had like this buy one get one or something like that. So I somewhere in the like neighborhood of $150, the four of us would go, and they were supposed to be like their drink cups had little chips in them, and I think when we bought it too, we got like, I don't know, free drinks for like 5 days. But then they were giving away they were like recharging that almost every time you came during COVID. And we'd just be walking around the park, and you'd just walk up to rides and there was nobody there. Like you just get on a ride. They had this one Ninjago one where you're supposed to do like karate chops over your seat. It's a moving seat, and you're supposed to karate chop over it, and it activates like flying shurikens or whatever on the screen. And we just did it 3 times because every time we'd come back to the start, they were like, yeah, there's nobody in line. You want to ride again? Sure, cool. Just stay seated. But after the third one, it was like, okay, my forearms are killing me from karate chopping for 15 minutes straight. The air, like I'm good.
You got your aerobics in though.
Yep. And I remember, yeah, my kids were really small, first grade and like pre-K, preschool. So like we'd go to they did this one where you could ride a Lego horse around a path, and just nobody was ever there. Walk up like, excuse me, could you turn the ride on? Oh, sure, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut into your U time. But yeah, that park was dead. Half of June, all of July, all of August. We went so many times.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah. I mean, it's no Disney World, but it's a pretty big park. I think they got a dozen rides or so and other stuff to do. We just had a lot of fun.
And you get Eiyuden Chronicle updates the whole time.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know why that is so stuck in my head of like hearing RPG Cast and Eiyuden driving back and forth over there to Lakeland.
Because I'm pretty sure Chris was the cynic about this one that the Kickstarter just, or even though that the Kickstarter got back, that the game wasn't going to come out. Especially
What?
after those delays.
Chris, cynical? Come on.
Yeah, I know
He
that,
clearly
that's
changed.
that's such a stretch, right?
Such a 2020 thing for Chris to be feeling.
But that sounds like a show unless we have anything else we would like to share.
I mean, some of my favorite memories on this was actually going back and forth with Matt about having issues
How many
with the
crashes?
Switch.
Yep. That version.
That version was special.
Yeah, I remember because there was a couple of backtracks we were listening to Matt talking about the problems you were having. I
Yep.
remember you talking about not getting some drop that for like the Pokemon mini game.
That's
Oh,
probably
it
the
was-
egg drop.
It was the egg drop. I couldn't get the
Yeah.
egg drop that like ever. You needed 5. I'm not sure I even got 1. And I'm on Reddit. I'm on Game FAQs. Like, am I battling the right palette swapped version? And they're like, no. You go out of this town and literally you're only going to encounter 1 bird, and they drop them, and they never dropped. Not
Okay,
5,
so it's
not
not
1.
okay, it's actually not the birds. I don't know who was telling you it was the birds. It's not the birds. Because what
Who
it is
drops the
some
egg?
of the battles are with those egg foot things, and those are what actually drop them.
Oh, well, yeah, but they look like an egg. They're a bird inside the egg, right? With the feet sticking out?
I don't know what's in the egg.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Gonna guess a bird.
Unless it's the world
If it's an egg walking around with legs sticking out of it,
Yeah, unless it's the
Either
world of
bird or
favorite
dinosaur.
where what's in the box is a mimic.
But no, that's got to be frustrating when when you swear up and down that it's the right mob that you're farming, and because it makes sense on paper, and then turns out that it's not.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I kept checking. I'm like, okay, let me check Game FAQs again and see this. And people are like, oh yeah, this is the one. I got it by fighting this battle right outside of this town. It's like the most prevalent enemy there. So maybe I'm misremembering that it was a bird, but it was 30 minutes fighting egg monsters. There's my notes. So you're right. It was egg monsters
Okay,
to get the egg.
there was no egg for you.
No egg for me.
The yolk's on you.
Here we go.
It was not. It was too shelled.
This is an enormous waste of time.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're definitely scrambling for content.
Well, we've got an exciting show in 2 weeks, barring any disaster, because we're going back to Vanillaware.
Some might say hard boiled. That was very
Heyo.
shoehorned.
Ayo.
Yeah, there you go. It works.
Oh,
I'll allow it.
but no, it's funny because so we're doing Unicorn Overlord in 2 weeks, and then
Oh,
after that is our April Fool's special.
unicorn ogre battle.
Yeah. And I played a game for our April Fool's special that's like a Vanillaware game in looks, but definitely not in quality. Just to give a hint, because I was originally going to go with my old nemesis Lunar Dragon song for the worst RPG I've ever played.
Oh no.
But then I thought about it. I was like, well, no, this particular one was even worse somehow.
Speaking of bad mechanics, let's make our hit points drop when we're walking around the world. What a great idea.
Yeah.
Let's make it so you only get either XP or money from battle, not both at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
When
we
good
could-
ideas go bad.
I mean, we could do,
Those aren't
do
even
this
good
someday.
ideas.
Well, I mean, just in like a how the mighty have fallen with that series falling into that slop.
Yeah. But this was an indie game that I played that I'd actually wasted a Christmas present on, and I don't know why I stuck with it. We'll get into it on our April Fool's show. But we have a good game to talk about first, and that's Unicorn Overlord, because Unicorn Ogre Battle is 100% right.
It's so much fun. If I were in town, I would have loved to be a part of that one, but I think I'm gonna be out.
I don't think I signed up for that one because a bunch of people were already planning on it.
Yeah. Wait, is there another Ryan in the group?
I see Ryan C and Ryan M and Cassandra.
Oh no, I was looking at the April Fool's one. It's my name is next to Jawan's. I thought there was a Ryan Jawan in the group, but it's like that. I think it just needs a space after that. So I was like, wait,
there we go. I'll fix.
But that's
we'll
me.
have the council. April 1st will be the Council of Ryans.
Yeah, because I'm there too.
Yes.
Well, you're part of it.
Yeah.
4 Ryans for the 4th month.
Because our choices were to either talk positively about a game that was shit, or try to come up with some kind of non-RPG to pretend like it's an RPG. Like, well, I was gonna say Madden, but doesn't Madden have RPG stuff in it now?
Everything has RPGs in it. My daily life is an RPG. I walked around and hurt my feet, -2 hit points.
Yeah, my daily life is nothing but a series of ones.
Better than zeros.
Yeah. But we'll get into it. I can't wait to talk about Unicorn Overlord. That was a beautiful, wonderful game. So
it is very pretty.
It's Vanillaware. Of course it's pretty. It's gorgeous.
I just wish they would put their stuff on PC.
Yeah, that is...
It's just I think it's just bad memory synchronization for me, because whenever I think Vanillaware, I think of some sort of like corruption happening. Oh no, you got Vanillaware on your computer. But I think that's just me.
Yeah, no, that is not the reasons. I know the reasons. I cannot get to them. I cannot discuss them publicly. Not because they're bad, not because they're like bad for the company, but because of the content.
Which might be bad for the company.
No,
our company.
Maybe.
Let's just leave it at that.
Oh.
So that being said, thank you, Ryan, and
yeah,
thank you,
it was
Tam.
fun time.
Always fun.
Sorry, Sam couldn't be on. She had an emergency tonight.
I think it would have been fun to have Sam here talk about them too. She is another big Suikoden fan, so
yeah, we'll have to, I don't know, have her back for
we'll just have her record her thoughts, and then we'll shoehorn her in to the episode somehow. It'll just make it. Matt will work his magic. It'll streamline it. It'll all sound great.
Oh God.
Isn't there? Has the reboot of our Backtrack done Suikoden 1 and 2?
We actually literally just did one.
I think that was last year, right?
Yeah. And I think she was on that one. At least
I think I was on that one.
Yeah. But and of course, thank you, Matt, who I could not do this show without.
And thank you, Kelly.
Of course. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Yes. I herd the cats. I shake the treats for the show, and do all the posting and all of that fun stuff. So it's a team effort. We certainly have fun doing this.
Indeed
we do.
But tune in a pair of weeks for Unicorn Overlord, and we shall catch you later.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
世界譲れない者たちの声遠くなるふるさとは明かりをつける明かりを焚いて進むべき道を照らすさ歩き 止めどなく